Hey everybody, it's December the 1st and this was our best one ever. The photo competition ended at midnight last night and boy, it wore me out. Hey everybody, welcome to my office on Thursday night. It is the 1st of December. And I started judging the competition last night, a couple of hours before midnight. I had some help with the judging last night. Rik Littlefield dropped by and we went through all of the pictures, all of the ones that had made it through the first cut. I am very confident that we've picked some really great winners. There will be an announcement at the end of the video where I'm going to tell you what next month's theme is. There are a bunch of people that I want to thank for submitting photographs. A lot of you are new to submitting anything to a competition, and good for you for trying. It's hard to do. You're putting yourself out there when you do it. Now, not everybody got an honorable mention, but there were a lot of entries. The people that didn't get honorable mentions but are honored by me for entering are Dora the Aussie Macro Explorer, Mihai, Gilles, Bruce, Menigogos, I don't know, Lance, Flintfish, the librarian, aka Steve, Case, who I've been calling Keese for 4 years because nobody told me, Ron Herp, 55, loved the snakeskin, Snapphase, 4Edge, Cobra, Jet Blast, and Gizmosaurus. You were all very close to being in the running. There were no bad pictures this time. We're going to get right into the honorable mentions in no particular order. Paul, Aphid Feeding Frenzy. This is a great fun photograph. Very engaging, very interesting, draws your attention. You have to look at what the aphids are doing. But when you realize they've all got their proboscis stuck in a vein of the plant, and they're kind of hanging upside down by their proboscis because their bellies are too full to crawl. It's a clever photograph and it really works. Great job. Next up, James S. This is something that has been done before. I mean, we've all seen the praying mantis crawling across a shiny surface, but this just has done it better than most. It's just really nice. I like the fact you use white instead of black. It's very sharp. You've nailed the focus. It's a good image. The next honorable mention is Amy 5 Aquatics for her Hover Over. This is a beautiful photograph for a number of different reasons. And I was going to be mean and I was going to take a few points away for color. Because I kind of, my eye wanted to see the hoverfly a little bit yellower than that. But Rik pointed out to me that, well, that might not have been the way Amy saw it. And he's right. It might not have been. You might have seen it just like this, in which case it's a jolly good photograph. And who am I to say? So it's very nice. I like it. There's a lot to like about this photograph. You've got the right wing in absolutely perfect focus, as is the whole fly. The left wing, it isn't, but that's hardly surprising given the subject. I love the way you've got the tips of the stamens in focus as well. You have got the most gorgeous little flash of surface flare on the thorax of the fly. It looks like a piece of jewelry glinting in the sun. I love it. By leaving it and by letting it just be the way it is and not trying to repair it or anything, I think worked. It's a great photograph. I love it. It's one of your best. Next one up is from Jillian. Glad to see you submitting some pictures. This is Eye Contact 2. Now, Eye Contact 1 was good as well, but I really liked Eye Contact 2. It was very clever. It looks like a mantid nymph, I think. You can't resist that expectant gaze. It's playing on human beings liking things with big eyes. It was well shot. You got it nice and symmetrical, nice framing, everything. Good picture, well done. The next one, this one almost made it into the top 3. Don Vale's Fang. I love this photograph. This is a pristine macro photograph in a very unusual position for a spider's fang, but it just works. Part of me wishes there was a little less dead space at the top. Maybe more of a 16:9 crop would have been more flattering. That's a minor issue. The detail in it is lovely, and you've got each hair well defined and beautiful photograph. Very nice. I particularly like the detail of the venom duct showing so clearly. And I don't know how you got this fang so clean, but I love a clean macro shot. So well done, Don. That's a great one. Next up, this is obviously two flies in a wheelbarrow race. And if you thought differently, you were wrong, because Jimbo said this is a wheelbarrow race, and he would know because he photographed it. He has got these flies absolutely tack sharp, and that is a nice photograph. The color balance is real nice too. I like the red eyes against the green background. A nice strong diagonal. There's a good leading line in there, and it's a nice photograph. It's pleasing to look at, and of course a nice chuckle as well. The next one is so clever, and I really liked it. This is from Micro Bart. Now this is another one that I looked at and thought, oh dear, this is upside down. But well, it is upside down. But as Rik pointed out, this is not just the way a dead cuckoo bee looks, or cuckoo wasp. Apparently, this is their defensive posture, and they can do this and be alive. I didn't know that. In fact, this could be alive for all I know. But whether it's alive or whether it's not, when I photograph these things and they're not alive, I'll spend half a day trying to unwind it from that position, and then gently relax it and spread it and just go to terrible pains to get it looking like a bug. But apparently this is a normal pose for them, and I should have been leaving them alone, because this is absolutely beautiful. The Q shape of it, the lovely round body and the rich blues giving way to greens in the middle. It's a cracking good photograph. It really is. I love it. Very, very well done. Macro everything around me. This is interesting. This is a dragonfly at its final molt as it emerges as an adult. Now, I looked at this and I liked the photograph. I thought the subject was nicely in focus. Rik pointed out that the shell of the nymph was out of focus, which I did not bother me. But I was a little bit perplexed by the busyness of the image. But then again, it's a patching thing. So there's going to be a shell. It's going to be on a piece of vegetation, and I should just get over it. But what Rik pointed out was it looks for all the world like this dragonfly is hatching in an aquarium. I guess the feeling was, well, if this was actually shot in the studio, it should have been less busy than this. You could control everything. But if it was shot in nature, then of course you're golden. But the background doesn't look like nature. It was just a little bit confusing to know exactly what we were looking at. But either way, it's a lovely photograph. Subject is well presented, good lighting, nice and sharp, and it's interesting. Next, you know that it hasn't been a photo competition unless I say the name Robert Storost at least one time. I could have said it twice, but I'm gonna give one honourable mention this month, to his what was the title? I like the title too. Somewhere on an Everything Bagel, which is ever so clever, and it is a beautiful picture of a poppy seed showing some architecture that I have never seen before. I have photographed poppy seeds, and I have never seen this strange reticulated pattern. I don't know what that is. If anybody knows, please tell me. The poppy seeds themselves are gorgeous. I love the way you've sat this golden poppy seed amidst a sea of silvery ones. It just works to emphasize the importance of your subject. I've been looking at too many slime molds, because when I saw this, I thought, oh, it's a slime mold with spores getting ready to burst out. But it's not. It's a poppy seed. So nice one, Robert. Well done. So next up is an honorable mention for Ploddles. Ploddles, which is a strange name, I will admit, turned in Aphid Hoop Farmer, and it was dedicated to Mila. Mila is my friend, who's a young lady who lives in the snowy north, whose mother is a friend of mine. And I made a little video for Mila a couple of months ago of aphids and the silly behavior they get up to on a plant stem. And this is in reference to that. And I think that was very classy, Ploddles. So obviously, as soon as I saw this, I sent it over to Mila and her mom, and they were suitably impressed and delighted. The picture I liked okay. Rik liked it a lot more than I did. You should know. I found it a little bit busy, to be honest. The ant is kind of in focus and then not in focus and then in focus again. Focus banding. But I have to believe that if this was focus stacked, it was done manually in the field, I would guess, because that ant is not at rest. It's moving. It's searching for poop to scoop. So yeah, I have to believe you must have done this by hand, in which case, bravo, it's a great shot. For what it's worth, you absolutely made Mila's day, so thank you for that. Here's another interesting photograph that definitely gets a most honorable mention, because it's something I've never seen before. It was surprising and interesting. This is from Tibet, and it's a drop of water that is starting to freeze. And I've never thought about that, about them starting to freeze. I thought a drop of water just froze. It would go from being not frozen to frozen. But no, it starts to freeze, and this is what it looks like when it's doing that. You can see you have to look at it at full size, but you can see the different refractive indices of the water as it crystallizes. I think that's what you can see, but it's interesting and it's lovely. I think that's an ice crystal on the top that's forming. Who knows though? I couldn't tear my eyes away from it. I like it. This is a single shot by the looks of it, and really quite well captured. So bravo for that. Good shot, interesting, well executed. All right, another photograph that I really at first didn't think much of, to be honest. So we were whizzing through these last night, and I got to this one and I looked at it and I said, yeah, that's a very nice, well-lit picture of a purple flower, ready to move on. And Mr. Littlefield was not ready to move on. He was looking at this thing very intently and oohing and ahhing. And I honestly, I looked at it again, and I could still see a purple flower. But I opened up the original and I looked at it, and this is what I saw. And this is spectacular. This is a gorgeous photograph of a bizarrely beautiful flower. Who knew all this transparent? Well, probably everybody except me knew this transparent stuff was here. But this was just a real shocker to me. Really lovely. The colors are fantastic. It's just a great photograph that I would have probably zoomed on by. So yeah, congratulations. Very honorable mention for this one. Rik made a very interesting observation last night. When photographs win the Small World competition, the Nikon Small World competition, they win it on the basis of two requirements. One is that the picture looks great in the thumbnail. Second, the picture looks great in close-up. It was his opinion that you can't win with a picture that looks great in close-up but doesn't look good at normal viewing size. And I'd never thought about it, but that's probably right. Now, being a non-plant person, at this size, I can appreciate the beauty and interest of it. But at thumbnail size, I really couldn't. Congratulations, Helmel. That's nice. And I have your pollinators, and I will release them as soon as you pay the ransom. Doob, you have two, or is it Dubay? I bet it's Dubay because there's an accent over your E at the end there. You have two this month, which is twice as good as people who have one. The first one is this, and I love this photograph. This is called Mushroom in Thick Underbrush, underbrush, and it's a lovely, beautiful study of a mushroom. I'll tell you what tipped me over on this one, and what grabbed my interest was I would look at the mushroom and I would appreciate the simplicity and the beauty of it, and my eye would wander down to this thing which appears to have eyes, antennas, and legs. It looks like a photobombing insect, but I couldn't be sure. But I would keep looking at it, and it kept me on the picture and caused me to look at the substrate that it's on. And yeah, it's a really successful picture. It's well photographed, but it's also well composed. It really pulled me in. Your second one, you switched one out and brought this one in its place. And you correctly guessed that Alan would like this one better. I can't remember what the original one was, to be honest, but you replaced it with this photograph called Squatter. Squatter is a lovely mushroom picture with a little spidery thing living under the cap. It's very clever. I love the colors. I love the concept, the moss. Everything looks good. It's well framed. Again, a nice strong diagonal. It's a good photograph. I like it. I like the touch of the little cobweb strands, the gossamer strands leading up to the mushroom cap. It's very nice. We're going to see pictures like this this week with special guest Steve Axford, I bet. Can't wait for that. Let me see. Next up, Gustavo. A very traditional, typical kind of ladybug picture, which Gustavo has done really, really well. So much better than many of them. I love the way you've used shadow to keep the undercarriage of this little beetle hidden, to emphasize the heart-shaped thingamajigs on his thorax. You can see the eyes clearly, which is hard to do on a ladybug. But what I really love more than anything else in this picture is the green, the way you have this ribbon of vibrant green across the frame, and lots of empty space that our little spaceship is gazing off into. It's a beautiful photograph. It's very atmospheric, very touching. This works on all levels. Gustavo, that's a great photograph. Honorable mention for sure. So next up is from Chris Veal. That is another hoverfly. This one is also beautifully shown, just like Amy's was, and I love the composition. The green and purple background with a purple flower is perfect, centered like that in a square frame. I love it. And the position of the hoverfly is just perfect. The hoverfly is sharp where it needs to be. You can see all the detail. It's a very pleasing picture. And I like the lighting too. It's a great image. Well done. We only have 3 more honorable mentions. Next up is Orzechowicz with Hemitrichia. Would you have known it was a Hemitrichia? I wouldn't have done. I like this picture. It's not a very pleasing subject. Most slime molds are really quite pretty. These are really quite hellish looking. They look like rutabaga ice cream or something, and an eyeball. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly how to categorize these, but obviously you've nailed the focus. You've got them all nice and sharp. And it's a very interesting subject with nice background, well balanced. It's a definite honorable mention. Nice picture. Perennial favorite Toluca submitted 2 photographs to this competition, and one of them was this stunning photograph of a weevil. This has the coloration of a carpet beetle, and it looks about the same size, but it's a weevil and it's beautifully shot. This is a great photograph. I love it. It's sharp as a tack. You've got the antenna and the leading eye perfectly sharp. It's lovely. I love this photograph. And this almost made it into the top 3. But you know what would have stopped this getting into the top 3 was your other submission, which is called Aunt B. So this is Toluca's Aunt B, or Aunt B. And it's a really clever, really beautiful composited bee image that is basically a mirrored image of one half of a bee's head or a wasp's head, but I guess it is a bee. Either way, it's fantastic, and it's weird, and it's alien, and it's everything I like in a crazy macro photograph. So congratulations, very well earned honorable mention for this. I love this photograph. Arguably one of my favorite images of the competition. You need to let me know, though, everybody, in the future, if you're going to submit a composited image, you need to make a note that it is composited, so that it meets with the rules. Everybody has to comply with the same rules, obviously. But yeah, this is a great photograph. Well done, Toluca. The last honorable mention, before we get to the winners, is from Biz, and it's having a good sniff. Now, my initial read on this photograph when I first looked at it was, oh man, that's a good photograph, but it's too dark. You've underexposed it. And then I looked at it again and thought, you know what? He hasn't underexposed it. He's exposed it perfectly where it matters. And yes, he's used the fall off in light to give a kind of late in the afternoon vibe to the picture. But when you look at the important parts, the bee looks like it's looking at me as it's sipping nectar from that flower, and the flower's perfectly exposed. I love this photograph. I think it's beautifully composed and cleverly lit. I think it's natural light, and then possibly this is either a reflector or a big diffused flash. But either way, I like the underexposed feel of it. It almost looked like it might be a hand stack, and then I'm guessing not. It's a single plane of focus. But you've planned it well to get all the important stuff in focus. So bravo, good job. All right, we're into the top 3. And these are just 3 of the best photographs that I have seen this year. And we're going to start with number 3. Number 3 was an interesting and unique subject that I have never seen before. Rik had seen it, but I had not. And it has been shot as expertly as you can, and it's a beautiful black and white study. So this is a seed pod of something I'm not familiar with, and this is just beautifully photographed. It's an interesting and unusual structure that I'm not familiar with. You've got these 2 seeds that look like they're in the process of departing on the breeze. All of the line of seeds in the middle of the thing are tack sharp. The decision to do this in black and white was inspired. It's a good photograph, really, really pleasing. And Mr. Littlefield thought the same thing. Did I say that was Nils H? I should have done if I didn't. Nils, fantastic photograph. I'm sorry if I skipped your name there. All right, we're up to second place, and I was so torn between these 2 photographs that it was physically painful for me to make a decision about it. I had to sleep on it, then look at them again this morning. They're both photographs that could have won, should have won. In second place is Bokaholic with this moonberry, which is one of the nicest photographs that I have seen this year. It is absolutely perfect. It's a wonderful, understated study on a blueberry, shot from the bottom, and with all the imperfections and nicks and cuts in the skin, it's just beautiful. Shooting it on a blue background with a blue rim light around the edge. It's expertly shot. It's beautiful, and it got in my head, and I looked at this thing last night a bunch of times. I looked at it again this morning, and it's one of those pictures. It just pulls me in, and it's so simple, but it is so well done, and I love it. Love everything about it. There's one problem. There was one picture out of the 100 or so that I liked even more. So the winner in November, the wild card competition, is Jimbo 007, Jimbo 007 with Jaws. And this is a macro photographer's macro photograph. This is well done. This looks almost like a wide angle macro shot of this absolutely perfect, what is it, a stag beetle, Hercules beetle, Goliath beetle, something like that. It's a big ass beetle. This is a wonderful shot. So I've been trying to get in touch with Jimbo since I made the decision on this today, and tried to get in touch with him through Discord, wasn't able to. So unfortunately, he won't be on the program tonight. But this is a great shot. It's just, there's nothing about it that I don't like. It's a beautiful, interesting foreground, beautiful, interesting mid-ground with the subject, and a beautiful, interesting light blue background, all complementing this dark reddish brown beetle with the most beautiful texture in the anatomy. The appendages, the antennae, it's perfectly positioned to show the eyes glinting in the sun. Everything about this photograph is pro, macro pro. It looks great. So this will have pride of place on the homepage of my website for the next month. I'll be putting it there today when I post this video. So that's it. Congratulations, Jimbo 007. You have won a prize, which, believe it or not, is going to be a photograph that's not as good as this one. So you could just save the postage, or save me the postage and hang that on your wall. But no, I'm going to send you one of mine because I said I would, and I'm a man of my word. And let me tell you what the theme is for this month, December 2022. I want you to make magnificent something mundane. And it has to be from inside your house. That's it. Something from inside the house that's small enough to be a macro subject, and you need to take it and make it magnificent. Something mundane. You want to know what a mundane thing would be? A wooden spoon, a teacup, ball of string, a plug, a light bulb, an egg cup, a severed hand. That was a trick. The opposite of mundane. Q-tip, a grape, the other severed hand. So it has to be macro, it has to be mundane, and you have to make it look magnificent. You've got till January the 1st. Get on it. Congratulations, everybody. Jimbo, well done. Fantastic job. Thank you to everybody who submitted a picture. Thank you to everybody for trying so hard to win this thing. It just makes it such a pleasure for me. Thank you to Rik Littlefield for giving up his Wednesday evening to help me grade and score and decide on all of these great photographs. He loved these photographs too. And something I don't say nearly often enough, thank you to Michelle Cox for everything that she does over there on Discord. And to all the administrators, I really do appreciate you, and thank you for what you do. Thank you to my Patreon people who keep this thing going. I do appreciate you. See you on Tuesday at the live stream. Take care, stay safe, and be well. Good night.